All right, let's talk about the month of July. Just a regular old summer month coming through. Just no big deal. Just the World Cup will kick off on July 20th with all the group stages. What typically happens is the host nation will usually go ahead and kick things off for the World Cup, and the United States will kick off their group stage on July 21st against Vietnam. They've also got a game that they will follow that up on July 26th against the Netherlands, and that will eventually lead into August as well. But World Cup, World Cup, World Cup, World Cup, July, 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 July.
It's here. I mean, the year is here, 2023, the Women's World Cup. It's like such a blessing that it's so quickly after the Men's World Cup because I'm so hungry for more international competition. And on the women's side of things, I mean, July 20th can't come soon enough with the opening ceremonies for the World Cup, for everything that comes about it and all that is, and then the US playing their first match on the 21st. It seems like it's late in July, right? Like when you say July is going to be the World Cup, I initially am like, okay, the first week or two. No, we have to wait till the 20th. But I think that buildup is going to be some of the most exciting 20 days, right? Once July starts, it's like this is the month of the World Cup. We have buildups. We'll know who the third team that the United States will play, the fourth team in their group will be at that point. We'll know that in February, kind of who they're going to play, the competition that it all comes about. And not only do we get to watch the United States compete against the Netherlands, Vietnam, and then one other team, but we get to watch all of the competition. We get to start to see the underdogs come out. We get to start to see which nations have really leveled up from the last World Cup that they played. I mean, all eyes will be on the United States as the first nation ever looking to go 3 World Cup winners in a row. And it all starts July 20th with the group stages. And then the fact that it just moves so quickly, right? Like the Women's World Cup final is August 20th. It's only 1
I know.
month. Like, can we get a little bit longer? Like, let's spread this out. I'm like begging for more, but so it starts July 20th. Everything happens then 21st for the US first match, and then round of 16 starts the first week of August on the 5th through the 8th. As the group stage ends, it really transitions very quickly into the round of 16. Then we've got the quarterfinals on August 11th and 12th, the semifinal August 15th, and the Women's World Cup final is August 20th. Who will be crowned the champion? It happens so fast. Like that month span of time is already going by in a blink of an eye, and we're not even in the year yet.
It's gonna go by in a blink. I think you and
Mm.
I listen, we had the privilege to participate in some World Cup coverage of guitar for CBS Sports, and it went by so quickly. It's a whole month, but all of a sudden you blink and the World Cup is over. And I think that's one of the things that makes it so unique and so special is yes, it's 1 month every 4 years. And to sort of see how close we are, kind of looking at this timeline in front of us and just know that it's going to start July and in August is
Mhm.
it's very, very exciting. And I mean, even just in the United States group alone, just to sort of have, we're going to get a very quick early rematch of the 2019 final with USA
Yeah.
and Netherlands just in the group stage alone, So there's already some very cool things and some exciting things kind of building up in anticipation to the World Cup. But as it concludes in August, there's going to be some exciting things on the NWSL side of things for September. Wednesday, September 6th, will be the Challenge Cup semifinals, which will conclude on September 9th, Saturday, with the Challenge Cup final. So just to rewind, if you're joining us after the break here for this episode, we talked about how Challenge Cup was actually going to kick off in April, and it's
Mhm.
going to be a little bit different this year, and it's going to run concurrently with alongside the NWSL regular season. And come September, we will have a new Challenge Cup champion. So I'm excited to see how things look there because if the regular season is any indication for the NWSL of how a team can sort of go through a long grind of a season and kind of go from one point of the table to another point of the table, I'm very interested to see how teams will look in the April phase of a season for Challenge Cup versus a September
Right.
phase of a
Right.
challenge for NWSL as well. So we'll have a new Challenge Cup champion in September. October will let us know who's going to be eyeing the NWSL championship, because the NWSL playoffs will kick off in late October. October 22nd is the quarterfinal for the NWSL postseason, and that'll lead us into November, where we've got semifinals and a championship.
It's crazy to think, because usually we get the Challenge Cup final in early in the spring, or excuse me, late in the spring, early summer, and we get a trophy ceremony. But the fact that we'll get Challenge Cup final early September, and then just 2 months later, November 11th, the NWSL championship. Think like teams that are looking to win both, and that's the goal, right? To lift 3 trophies in a year between the Challenge Cup, the Shield, and the championship. They could be lifting those trophies within months of each other, depending kind of how that plays out. And that's really what I like, that this change, having the Challenge Cup throughout the regular season, during April to September. I like that it's happening this way, because we get to see the different styles that these teams are going to play, going up against different competition, when you're potentially playing a Challenge Cup game Wednesday and then Saturday a regular season game, how you roll out differently. Are there different players you play? Are you going to rest certain players in those types of stints? I mean, we even saw it last year in the NWSL, when teams had multiple games, say in 9 days with 2 games, or 3 games in 11 days, how they rotated players, and kind of how that affected the teams. Now, how is that going to work with the Challenge Cup in the regular season? But November 11th, NWSL championship, it's massive to think that this league is going to go from March 25th to November 11th with a completely balanced schedule. I'm really thrilled to see how these teams kind of take after that and go for that, right? Like, we got to see the new expansion sides last year in LA and San Diego, and what they brought to the table. How is that going to be different this year? And it all starts with the draft that's coming up early January, and then November 11th. It's all cards on the table by that point.
Somewhere along the way, we'll probably also get the announcement of where this championship final will take
Yep.
place. That was another bit of excitement that we had to cover during 2022, and when the official announcement was made that it was gonna the 2022 championship final was going to be hosted by Washington D.C. and held at Audi Field. So I'm curious as to where the November 11th date, like where that might lead the
Right.
championship final. It's a little bit later in the year. So, thankfully, late October in DC wasn't too bad. A lot of folks, weren't too complaining about the weather, but it might be a little bit
Mhm.
colder in some of these other
Yeah.
markets come November. So I'm very curious to see
Yep.
where the championship final will lead us in 2023. And of course, when we're talking about these later months, these fall months, these winter months, we got to talk a little bit about post World Cup, what that's going to mean for the United States women's national team. There will likely be more international windows along the way. Will some of those friendlies be, marketed as victory tour type of friendlies, or just sort of post World Cup friendlies? We will see. We'll have to stay tuned and cover and watch the World Cup to see how that is. But typically, November is when the team kind of closes out their calendar year
Yeah.
before they go off on a long winter and holiday break. So we're going to operate on the assumption that that is going to be similar in 2023, and maybe we will get a final pair of United States women's national team
That would
friendlies
be
in November as well. And then it'll be a new March and a new build to the Paris Olympics, right?
Oh, yeah, that it just happens so quickly. Let's stick with the World Cup for now, Sandra. We can't get ahead of the Paris Olympics. And these dates that we ran through are only the ones that we know of right now. Like, there will be many things that come along and come about, that will be celebratory, that we'll do emergency episodes for, because it's breaking news. Things are dropping. We'll get more and more information as the year goes on. But as Sandra and I close out 2022, we knew that it 2023 is such a big year, that there are so many dates on our personal calendars with women's soccer and everything that's happening. We wanted to kind of give everyone out there an update on everything that's happening this year. Circle your biggest dates. I mean, for me, July 20th to August 20th, that has to be the biggest thing.
Yep.
And then I think the regular season for the NWSL, those are the biggest dates for me that I'm circling. But I want to know from everyone that's joining us live, listening to this. Let us know in the comments on this video, in Apple Podcast reviews, on Twitter. Tweet at us what is the biggest date you're looking forward to in 2023, because there's a lot to come.
Absolutely. Listen, we started A3 in 2021, right at the cusp of an Olympic run for the United States women's national team. In 2023 is going to give us the opportunity to cover a World Cup, and I can't wait. I can't wait to do that with you, bud. I'm so excited. Happy New Year to everyone. Thank you all so much for an eventful 2022. Let's hope that 2023 will be full of lots of good soccer. And lots
Here's
of
to less sleep.
healthy soccer.
Yeah, here's to even more sleepless nights and staying up late and no sleep, hydration for us in 2023. That means we're busy. That means there's a lot going on,
Love
a
to
lot of
stay
good
live.
things.
Love to stay live. Love to be exhausted. Love to always do this with everybody. We're two of the luckiest in the whole wide world. And thanks everybody for joining us today on Attacking Third.